Don't forget to nothing I get, 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 nothing I get. I have never, I have never the privilege to watch you trade live during our training session. I'll be happy if I make. I'll be happy if you make join the live trading session. Please kindly come again. I don't understand what you are trying. I don't get what you are trying to mean. Please kindly come again. I have never the privilege. I have never gotten the privilege to watch you trade live during our training session. I'll be happy if you make join your live trading session, please. You're already part of the live session. Hey, who is no? But you are greeting good evening by this time. Where are you? Are you in US or where? Or you are in Japan? Where are you watching from? That you are greeting good evening by this time. Yeah. Greeting good evening by this time. Yeah, let's enjoy something over here. Let's see if you can get an opportunity. Good has moved. And this morning I was monitoring it on my phone. I was monitoring the chart on my phone. And there was a counter trend trade over here. There was counter trend of trade over here. The buy. Yeah, so it has already happened. So let's continue. Sorry, I'm still. Hey, Charlie, rich man, you are still in bed. Rich man, you are still in bed. Wow. Yeah, good has moved a lot. Let's do a breakdown. Missing. All right, so let's check out the fundamentals and see. I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, the light has been distracting us, especially to those in the boot camp. The light has really been disturbing us. So yesterday we couldn't meet. Yesterday you would have gotten a trade, but you couldn't meet. Today too, you could have gotten some scalp move, but you couldn't meet. Okay, you couldn't move. You couldn't meet. So let's see. It's all. The most important thing is just if you have the knowledge. All these issues are no problem. The most important, the market is always going to be there. So all these minor issues are no problem. Okay, so that's why it's very important. You need to have money. If you have money and my home is full of solar, ECG is not, electricity company of Ghana is not, their problem is not my problem. Okay, so that's why you need to grind hard to get money so that you'll be able to solve some basic issues like this one, like this. If you have solar in your home, this is not going to be an issue. All right, so we need to work hard. So 12:30, you are going to be having some advanced GDP, gross domestic products, Bank of England barely speaks, okay, and core PCE price index. Okay, so you need to be very careful at 12. Okay, 12 p.m. So mostly 12 p.m. I even don't execute around that time. So let's see. So today maybe we might be live. You might move to the New York opening. we might move to New York opening. So if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box as we are vibing over here. So let's do a quick top-down analysis. Let's see if there was any random news. UK bank rate maintained at 3.75 July. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's check out the technical analysis and see. So this is the daily time frame. At the daily time frame, we have this rejection level over here. We have this rejection level over here at the daily time frame. I hope the week is going on well. For a week, I hope you are making money. That's the most important thing. My week is all blues. Okay, but my people too. So at the daily time frame, these are the various rejectional levels. These are the various rejectional level. Okay, looking at the H4 time frame, at the H4 time frame, we have this rejectional levels over here at the H4 time frame. But let's check out the daily critical. Let's check how the candles are being printed over there. All right, so looking at the past candle, looking at structure wise is what bullish. Okay, price was making, there was a complex structure over here. There was higher high, higher low. So it shifted it to where? This is where the trend shifted to an uptrend over here. You get it. The trend shifted to an uptrend over here. So price pulled back, made a continuation, but it couldn't make what? Higher high. It just made high. I hope my network is okay. Is my network okay or it just breaking? Let me know if my network is okay. Price made high over here. There was what? Higher low to over here. Okay, there was higher low over here. So it was just a complex structure over here, but overall trend is what? An uptrend at the daily time frame. The overall trend is what? An uptrend. Okay, so looking at the H1 time frame, currently, let's analyze the candle critically. Okay, let's analyze the candle critically. If you watch this candle, the ongoing candle, you notice that this candle, there was no wick over here. Price has gotten to a key level over here. You get it? There was no wick over here. If you have passed through my training, you mostly understand that if a candle close with no wick, the chances that it will come back and create that wick is very high. So we can anticipate price sell. Okay, we can anticipate some selling pressure coming into the market. All the with the reason or for the sake of how should I even put it? Like for price to come back and create what? The wick over here, the bottom wick over here. So let's check out. But the overall trend is what? An uptrend. Structure wise, price is what? An uptrend. Candle price is an uptrend. So buy is what? We can anticipate price moving up, but the counter trend as in price coming back to create a wick too can be possible. Okay. Yeah. So for me, I'm not interested at this point. I'm not interested in because I'm not interested in selling for now. Okay. I would love price for the sellers to come into the market, pushing price down. Okay. If it creates a support, then I'll look for a buy. That's what I'll be looking for. But the counter trend might be possible over here for the sake of what? Price coming back to create that bottom wick over here. You get it? For price to come back and create that bottom wick over there. Yeah, so let's wait and see if you can get some buy opportunities over here. But the sell is possible for the topic for the sake of what? The bottom wick over here. Price coming back to create that bottom wick over here. Okay, so for the trend itself at the H4 time frame is an uptrend. Okay, the trend itself is an uptrend. Price made what? Higher high, higher low. Okay, expecting a continuation. It continued though. You get it? Yeah, so this morning there was a counter trend over here. Okay, price, there was a buy opportunity over here. Okay, so if you guys have been just been observing us, okay, I'm keeping record for this kind of trades. I've not started executing on those trades. So this trade that happened over here, I'm having some data on it. So far, I've collected like seven information. I've gotten like 7 trades. That's what played out. So on 27th of July, you see what happened over here. On 27th of July, the same thing happened. Let's reflect on it. 27th on July, that was 6 a.m. and it was the entry two was found on the 1 hour time frame. on 27th of July. Let's check it out. Yeah, so 27th of July. You see what happened over here? As price shifted the trend, pulled back over here. What happened? We had a continuation of the trend. It was the same thing that happened on 27th of July. Price shifted the trend over here, pulled back. What happened? The trend continued. And this one to give the entry what? The entry happened on what? The H1 time frame. And it was the same time that it happened. It was the same time. This one happened at 6 a.m. Okay, what happened today too was at 6 a.m. So 28. So you see the entry was found on where? The entry was found. Okay, this is not the one yeah. The entry was also found on the H1 time frame. Yeah. So this was the entry. Please a moment. Yeah, so as I was saying, the same thing that happened today, okay, happened over here. So this one too, the entry was found on the H1 time frame at the same time. You get it? This one too happened at 6 a.m. at the same time. That was 27 and 28. 28. Hello. Hello. Now, I've told you. All right. Yeah, so as I was saying, the same thing that happened over here. I hope you can hear me right. The same thing that happened over here is the same thing. Okay, that happened today too over here, and 30th of July too. 30th of July, the same thing also happened, but that one was, I think that one was also a saw. 30th of July. Well, no, not 30th of, yeah. This was today's on. Okay, and 28th, 27th of July to the same thing happened. So I'm collecting information. I'm collecting information on all these ones. 27th. Okay, 27th. And 12th of May. Okay. 12th of May to the same thing happened. Let me see. Of May. So I've started collecting data. 12th of May. So that one's happened during the lending session. 12th of May. Was it this one? Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, so the same thing. What happened this morning has been repeating. You get it? What happened this morning has been repeating. So it will get to, I just want to get enough, like, you see, before a judge will make will bring out his or her judgment, he needs a lot of evidence. Okay, he needs a lot of evidence before you what you bring out judgment. It's the same thing when it comes to trading. Before you start executing on a setup, before you start executing on a trade, you have to make sure you've gotten a lot of data information, okay, a repeated pattern before you start betting on it. So that is how for me I trade. That's why my win rate is very high, because I don't just randomly execute trade. Everything that's what I execute on, I have to make sure I've collected a lot of information or a lot of data before I will start executing on. I don't understand why it's an uptrend. On which time frame you don't understand? Let me know the time frame you don't understand. Which time frame you don't understand? Because you're having different time frames, and sometimes the different time frames too is having different direction. Yeah, so gold is currently, we might see price like falling. You get it? You might see sellers coming into the market because as to price moving up is very, very difficult. You're having a lot of rejection levels around. So it might be difficult for price to keep on moving. Okay. And looking at this candle, we notice that there was no wick over here. So price is moving up again. You get it? So the sell is possible. The sell is possible because, and again, price has gotten to a key level over here. Okay, even though the trend is an uptrend, candle and structure, everything is an uptrend. You get it, but you might see price coming down. So let's wait and see. But for me, what I'm going to be doing is what I'm going to be executing something that I have what data on it. You get it. So no matter what the market is going to do, I might not be giving it attention. Okay, I might not be giving it attention unless it aligns with what I know. So which time frame are you talking about? I don't understand why it's an uptrend. On which time frame? Yeah, the H4 time frame is an uptrend. Okay, H4 time frame is an uptrend. Price made higher high over here. There was higher high, higher low. You get it for the trend to continue. And looking at candle, okay, candle structure. If you're looking at this candle structure, this candle closed bullish. Okay, so this is the high of the candle, so this is the low of the candle, this is the high of the candle. Okay, and looking at this ongoing candle has broken the past candle high. You get it? It has broken the past candle high. So this indicates that what price was more, or there was high buying pressure in the market. You get it? There was high buying pressure in the market. So where the candle structure shifted trend was over here. This is where the candle structure shifted, pattern structure shifted trend. Price was making lower lows and lower high. So price was making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And if you see price making more of what lower lows and lower high, what you have to do is what you have to look at high over here. Okay, it has made what lower low, and it has broken the lower high over. So the moment the candle broke the lower high over here, the trend shifted to an uptrend. Okay, so this is where we had a shift in trend to an uptrend over here. You get it? So the moment the candle broke over here, the trend shifted to an uptrend. Okay, so this is where the moment this candle broke, the trend shifted to an uptrend. So let me show it to you. So the moment the candle, so if I've not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. Kindly subscribe to the channel. So this is where we had a shift in trend over here. So the moment the candle broke above this one, we had a shift in trend. You get it? So this is where we had an uptrend. Okay, so price continue making higher highs. So this was FOMC. Okay, and price made higher low, higher high. You get it? Price was making higher high, higher low, higher high. So this is where we had a shift in trend. So the trend shifted to an uptrend. Okay, the trend shifted. So we are having buying pressure in the market. By looking at candle, looking at what is happening, but a sellers can come into the market, but the trend is what an uptrend. Okay, so logically, or for the safer side, it is good to look for a buys. Okay, but as price has gotten to this one, and looking at how this candle open, and we know that most often if a candle opens, you're expecting the candle to what open with what a top wick, right? Because if you look at the past candle, if you look at the previous candles, most of the candles open with what it opens with a wick. So there was a wick over here. The wick is simply a pullback. There was a wick over here. There was a wick over here. There was a wick over here. There was a wick. A wick. Majority of the candles were having wicks. You get it. Majority of the candles are having wicks over here. So what I'm trying to say is, so since majority of the candles are having wicks, only few candles that you can see they are not having wicks, but majority, most of the candles are having wicks. You get it? So what you can expect is for this candle to also come back and create that wick. You get create that wick before you what? We get a trend continuation. You get it? Before you get a trend continuation. So that's what I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, but structure wise, from experience, it's not safe if we're going against a candle, if we're going against structure. It is not safe. Okay, but if you want to be aggressive, you can be looking for a sell opportunity. Since price has gotten to the daily rejectional level over here, we might see price, we might be seeing price coming down, as I said earlier, to create that H4 bottom wick over there. Okay, so with the sell, what you can see, but for me, I'm not interested in the sell for now. You get it? But for the sell, what can happen is what? As price, this candle is about to close, we can see this one over here. Price closing below, okay, at the 30-minute time frame. We can see price closing below over here, and the trend will continue to the downside. Okay. For the top wick, for the bottom wick to be created before price will start. So when price starts moving up, which might be during the New York Stock Exchange session, then I'll be looking for what? Then I'll be looking for a buy. Okay, so this is what might happen before price, like what happened during the FOMC. So you see, FOMC, as price, this bullish move happened. Okay, what happened? Price pulled back. So this is where it was around 8:30 p.m. That is when I got a buy. Okay, that was yesterday. I got a buy over here around 8:30 p.m. So just in the mentorship group, I told you people that I wanted to be trading the FOMC with you people, but because of the lighting issue, okay, the light didn't come early, so I couldn't meet you people. So I was able to get the whole of this pips. So, okay, I was able to get around 8:30. I was able to what, get around 300 pips over here. Okay, I caught 300 pips, close to 400 pips to 300 pips over there. So I didn't, like, when price was moving over here, I wasn't involved. When the pullback over here, I wasn't involved, but this was my move. So it's the same thing that I'm expecting over here. So this, so when it is happening, I'm not going to try to what, be in the trade, but what I would love to take is what, for what I have experience about, is when price close below like this is what I would love to what, execute. Okay, this is what I would love to execute. So guys, do you know one thing I've observed, or the one thing I've noticed about trading? One thing I've noticed about trading is what, no matter what, especially if you trade a high volatile or high liquid instrument or a high liquid pair, one thing I've noticed or observed is what, no matter what, okay, price is going to give you an opportunity. No matter the moves you are going to miss, price is still going to give you an opportunity for you to execute on. That is what I've observed trading the market. So you see, some people might be thinking, yeah, taking yesterday for instance, but some people might be thinking, oh, I've missed a whole move over here. People entered this trade and they were happy. This saw, some people might be getting this saw, they will be happy about it. But you see, this was my move. This one, when this one was happening, I wasn't involved. When this one was happening, I wasn't involved. But if you can wait patiently for what you are confident about, okay, the moves that you are confident about, I think it's going to what, help you a lot. It's going to help your account a lot. Okay, so don't try to force to take enter into a moves that you don't understand. Okay, sometimes we feel like we are not going to be getting a trade. We need to, for this is our last chance. That is what we mostly feel like. But if we are just going to be ignoring those moves that are not in your plans, I think it's going to be better for you. Okay, some of the trades, some of the moves we don't understand, why? Because we, maybe the whole of the day, the whole of the, especially taking lending session for instance, maybe the whole of lending session, you've not gotten a trade, you want to badly, like, you want to take a trade badly. So what is going to happen is what, if you have an idea, like how I have an idea about this or that might happen, what is going to happen is what, you know, that you know within you that you don't have enough data. Okay, you are not confident. Like for me, I'm not confident in this, so what is going to happen is what, I will just be telling myself, let me give it a try. You get it? Let me give it a try. And you will enter the trade, you will lose the trade. I'm not saying even if you are executing a trade that is within your plan, you are not going to be taking some losses. You might be taking some losses, but it is always better, it is always safer to take trades that are within your data. Okay, that you have like you have what do you call it? You have experience about. Okay, you need to always take trades that you have much confidence in it. Okay, so today I did a short, I did a reel, and I was talking about this thing. That's what it is not because, okay, it is not like those profitable traders, it is not like those influencers, people you mostly admire. They sometimes don't have the fear, or it's not like they sometimes they don't sometimes they feel less confidence when an opportunity presents itself. You get it? But one thing that mostly pushes them to execute those trades is because what the data tells them to what execute. Okay, that is what most often pushes them to what execute those trades. So it is not like sometimes they don't feel less confidence in themselves when an opportunity presents itself. Sometimes they are scared. Let me tell you the fact. Sometimes they are scared. You see, sometimes they'll be scared. If what if this what if this goes against me? Okay, and sometimes looking at the loss size that they will use on the trade, when they lose, they are going to lose big. But you see, you need to force yourself, since what the data, the setup that has presented itself aligns with your system. You still have to force yourself. So sometimes, for me, for instance, I sometimes feel less confidence when an opportunity presents itself. But the reason why I always execute when it happens is because I'm going against my data, because my data is telling me these are the what high probability trades that I have to execute. But the moment what I feel less confident, the moment I don't execute, I'm messing up the data. Okay. So what I do is what, when I feel less confidence in the trade and I know for sure that this trade aligns with my system. This trade aligns with my setup. What I mostly do is what I execute. Okay. And I will tell myself, whatever will happen, I don't care, because I have data backing it and I've executed these trades over and over and over and over again. So if this time around it fails, I don't care. So that's what mostly I would tell myself. You get it? That is what mostly I tell myself. So that is what you need to do. If you are here and sometimes you feel less confidence in yourself when an opportunity presents itself, when maybe you are scared, your heart beats when an opportunity presents itself. Anytime you have that emotions, anytime you have that feeling, what I would advise you to be doing is what, just go back and reflect on your data. Okay, so sometimes I reflect. This morning like this, when I was watching the chart on my phone, I noticed this one over here. Because one thing I told myself is what, you've not collected a lot of data on it. Okay, this buy over here, I've not collected a lot of data on it. So what I did is what, just let it go. You get it? So anytime trade presents itself and it aligns with my system, it aligns with my setup, I'm not going to what, I don't fear. Okay, even though it will reflect, I will be having those like I'll be having that reflection that, oh, what if you lose a trade and those things. But I don't care. That is what I've what that is what I've signed for, to be what, a risk taker. The moment you are a trader, you are a risk taker. You are every day taking risks, and risk is not guaranteed. Okay, it is not guaranteed. It is not assured that what, it is going to go in your favor. So that is what you need to understand. What you have what you have signed for. One thing you need to understand is what, it is not guaranteed always that it is going to go in our favor. So when opportunity presents yourself and you would think, oh, every day should be a winning trade, you are just messing up your data. That is what you need to understand. That is what you need to understand. If you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. Okay, we are waiting. That is our job. Our job is to what, we present our plan to the market, and the market to print what we want to see. If unfortunately the market does not present that opportunity to us, we just what, leave the market with no trade. That is what we do always. Okay, that is what we do always. So let's see what's going to happen. If you have any question, drop it in the chat box. Anything related to trading, drop it in the chat box, or even anything related to life, Can drop it in the chat box. You can drop it in the chat box. Let's talk. Yeah, so let's analyze the currency pairs. I know some people over here trade currencies. So let's check out the major currency pairs and see the major currency pairs. I don't trade currencies. I strictly trade gold USD. That is what I strictly trade. Okay, it's a nice instrument to trade. Okay, so let's see currencies. Let's see if the ranges are a lot. That's what I don't like about currencies. The ranges are a lot. So when it comes to GBP US, so this is GBP US. On GBP US, this is what I'm expecting. We have rejection level over here. At the daily time frame, the candles, everything is pointing out. Price has made a perfect pullback over here, and it has broken the past candle. So the daily time frame is strong bullish. You get it. The daily time frame is strong bullish. Price has was shifted a trend over here when it broke the low over here. So we had lower high over here. When the candle broke it, okay, when the candle broke it, it shifted the trend to where? It shifted the trend to an uptrend. So the trend is an uptrend over here. You get it? The trend is an uptrend over here. The trend is an uptrend over here. Let's move to the H4 time frame and see. Daily time frame is strong bullish. So moving to the H4 time frame, H4 time frame. So it's the same thing that is happening on gold. I'm seeing the same thing, the same structure over here. Gold structure looks similar to what GBP USD. So we have a rejection level 2 over here as well. Okay, we have a rejection level over here. So this one so is the same projection I'm expecting on this one. I'm expecting price to what make that top. The trend is an uptrend, so it might be what just a bullish, or it might just be a buy day over or a buy session over here. That's what you need to understand. This is just something I'm assuming it might happen, but it is now and creates that bottom wick over here. That is what you need to understand. But the trend is highly what bullish. Okay, structure wise, price is an uptrend. Okay, price is an uptrend, higher lows. So you're expecting a continuation of the trend for price to keep on moving up over here. So we have, if you look at your left over here, we have this zone over here at the H4 time frame. So let's see where we can take a buy when it comes to where we can take a buy when it comes to what the H1 time frame. H1 time frame. So we have this rejection level over here at the H1 time frame. Okay, looking at the M30 time frame. Wow. So the sell is looking good when it comes to what GBP. Sorry, the buy is looking good when it comes to GBP USD. So we have this zone over here, M30. Okay, so what am I expecting on GBP USD? So at this point, if this candle close and you are taking a buy over here, one thing you need to understand is what price can come to this point and it can bounce off from the point. The zone is very small. Price can bounce from this level and it can what reject and stop you out from the trade. But if you have what do you call it? Maybe if you have strong belief or what hope that price can keep on moving, you can, when this candle close, you can enter a trade. But mostly, what I most often do when price is in a small range is what I take the trade when it gets to those targets are what break even, so that when it is coming back, I don't lose anything. So when it comes to GBP USD, the safer way or the safer method to execute a buy is to wait for price to what break above this one. Okay, for the safer side, I would love or I will recommend you to wait for price to break above this one. If price break above this one, okay, if price breaks above this one, price are settle over here. If you look at your left, there was no support or resistances to our left. Okay, there was no rejection or observation level. There was no observation level to over here. So price can move freely up to where this point. But if you are taking a buy over here, it's not safe. Okay, the reason it's not safe is what the zone is very small, and currencies, it's like 4 pips over here. Your stop loss is going to be 13 pips. Okay, so if you take a buy over here, you need to be very quick with your odds, your break even, with your trade management. Okay, if you what you have to do is wait for the candle to close. Let's check the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, the candle hasn't settled down yet. Okay, so let's see if the candle will be able to break above the zone that we are having over here. If you can get price breaking above the zone, like as I've projected over here, if price will be able to break above the zone over here, we can what anticipate price what price moving to this point, 29 pips. And if the buying pressure is huge, price might end up moving to those who trade currencies. GBP USD is really, really looking good, so you can what you can have close eyes on that. But I think we have an upcoming news on GBP USD at 12 p.m. GMT. So let's check it out. Yeah, I think you're having news on that on 12 p.m. Yeah, we're having news on that. So it is not safe if we're executing at 12 p.m. We're having news, red folder on that. So you need to wait for 12 p.m. So maybe 12 p.m. we might see price movement. So let's check out USD CHF and see. USD card rather. Yeah, so let's do a top-down analysis on USD card. Yeah, so to those who are what do you call it, those who want to trade GBP USD, you can wait for price breaking above. So let me indicate it over there where to look for a buy on GBP USD. Yeah, so on GBP USD, I'll recommend you what price, if price breaks and close above this one. Okay, price break and close. You need to be very careful with your execution on GBP USD. The reason is what the H4 time frame does not wick over here, so the chances that price will come back and create that wick is very high. So you need to wait for what a high confirmations before you start what going into GBP USD. Okay, so buy above this one. You need to wait for so wait for price to break and close below. Wait for price to break and close below, let's say 1.33940. 1.33940. So wait for price to break and close that level, okay, before you execute. You get it? Because you have H4 zone over here. Okay, I think the candle has broken the H4 zone at this point. But yeah, price has broken the H4 zone over there. So yeah, you can get a continuation of the trend, but you have some minor zone. For me, I would love for the safer side. It's better you wait for price to close, break above the minor zones. Okay, price to break above the minor zones before you execute. If you have any question, please kindly drop it in the chat box. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do well subscribe to the channel too as well. So let's check out USD card. USD card. USD card. So looking at USD card, let's change it to line chart for us to see the clarity on the various levels. So on USD card, we have this rejection at the daily time frame. Okay. Yeah. So we are expecting we might get a wick fill over here. Looking at the H4 time frame, we have this rejection level over here at the H4 time frame. You have this rejection level here at the H4 time frame. Looking at the H1 time frame, so H4 time frame, price has currently broken this one. So for the safer side, so do you guys, those in the mentorship group, do you guys remember this kind of setup of this kind of setup that's happening over here? This same setup, I don't know whether you people remember. This same setup happened some time ago at lending session. It was a break and retest at the M15 time frame, and we didn't take the trade because we were waiting for the candle to close. And what happened? We were waiting for a break and retest at the lower time frame. Okay, we were waiting for a break and retest at the lower time frame to take a sell. But what happened over here? Price price broke the previous candle, the bullish candle, and it's take the trade. But the following day, the same thing happened on gold, and I executed that trade. So this is the same setup that is happening on USD card. So at this point, it's very simple. It's now bearish, okay, and you've missed the first move over here. You've missed the first move. So what you can do at this point is what? For me, what I would do is what? Wait for a break and retest. Okay, I think you have already missed the first one. So what you can do is wait for a break and retest. If price will be able to make a break and retest on USD card, so this is H1 time frame, H1 time frame. So M30 time frame. For me, what I'll wait for is if you have clean zone or if you have bigger zone, I'll wait for price to pull back, then I'll look for what? A sell. So this is what I would love to what? If I were to be trading this pair, I'll wait for price to make a bullish. I see a bullish candle over here. If I see a bullish candle over here, then I would take what? I would take a sell. So this is what I would love to what I would be expecting if I were to be trading this pair. Okay. So this is what I would have been expecting if I were to be trading this pair, for price to keep on moving down. Okay, yeah, so that's it for USD card. So always your direction is at the H4 time frame. So this is where this is my Google map. This is where I'm watching everything from. So I'm watching everything from this time frame. Whatever it is doing, this is where I make my projections. So if I were to trade USD card, this is what I will be expecting. So let's check out USD CHF. So USD CHF. So the zones, that's what I don't like about currencies. The zones are very small, and the pip range is also very small. So USD CHF is already, the daily time frame is already making some pullbacks over here. It's already making some pullbacks over here. Okay, so let's check out the H4 time frame. At the H4 time frame, we have this rejection over here. So this is H1 time frame rather. So at the H4 time frame, we have this rejection levels over here. We have this rejection too as well. Okay. Yeah, so this one too is the same setup that's happening on what USD card. Is the same thing that is happening on USD CHF too as well. It's the same structure. What we just saw on what USD card is the same thing. Price just made a break and retest over here. There was a break retest. What are you expecting? A continuation of the trend. Okay, so since you already made the first move, what you can do on this pair is to wait for a pullback. Okay, you just wait for a pullback, then you take the continuation of that move. So you just wait for a pullback. If price will pull back, because now the first zone, the zones are very small. Okay, so if you can wait for price to pull back, if price will be able to pull back for the trend to continue, the New York stock open. Okay, for price to what? Continue moving down. For price to continue moving down. You get it? So this is what might happen because you have already missed the first move. So this is what you need to wait for when it comes to what USD CHF. So let's check out GBP USD again. And I've seen some people also love. Okay, so it's not. So you have to wait for the candle to close. If the H1 is going to 50 in the next 52 minutes, if the H1 is going to close above, I think it will be a better buy. If the H1 will be able to close above, I think it will be in the next. So it will be like it will align with what the New York Open. I think that one will be better. Okay, so let's check out gold and see what's happening on gold. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Gold, the buy is very like it's very hard, or it's hard to take a buy on gold. because we have a lot of ranges to your left. Okay, we have a lot of ranges to your left, a lot of resistances over here. So it's hard to look for a buy on gold for now. Okay, it's very hard because, and the zones to your left too. Yeah, we have a lot of zones to my left, a lot of zones to my left. So it's very hard to take a buy on gold. Very hard. Okay, we have a lot of rejection, and when it comes to rejection, you need to pay attention to. You get it, because price most often respects them. So you need to pay attention to them. There's no guaranteed price is going to break these levels and keep on moving up. That is what you need to understand. There's no guaranteed that price is going to be breaking these levels and what it will be moving up. So if you want your win rate to be high, you need to always pay attention to these levels. You get it? You need to pay attention to these levels. So they are very important levels. So it's very hard to look for a buy on gold. It's very hard to look for a buy on gold. So what I will wait for on gold, if it's going to happen for breakout at this point out, it will be very hard for me to get a breakout trade on gold. So what I would love to see, if price is going to move without maybe waiting for me in the next 52 minutes, as price will be moving and those things, I would love price to break above this one. Okay, if price will be able to break above keep on moving towards what I would love to what see on gold. Okay, but for the breakout, it's very hard because you don't have any clean support or resistances to our left. There was no clean support or resistances to our left. So it's very hard for me to look for a buy on gold for now. It's very hard for me to look for a buy on gold for now. You get it? So for me, it's very hard. It's very hard to look for a buy on gold. Okay. So I will rather wait for the zones are not clean. The zones are not clean at all to take a trade on them. Okay, you have a lot of ranges to our left. So at this point, what I would love to wait for. So initially, I was talking about price retracing. If price was able to retrace, come down over here, kind of it's tough. Okay, when it comes to the buy, it's tough. So the only option is, if you don't have high buying pressure. Okay, if you don't have high buying pressure, the only option is for so for now the buy is kind of not safe at all. Okay, if you are taking a buy now, you are putting yourself in a danger, because you're having a lot of ranges over here. It is not guaranteed, and this is not any normal. It is not a normal rejection levels. This is what H4 rejection levels. This is, you have H1 rejection levels. So this is not, to your left it is not safe. Okay, it is not safe, and those levels are very important because it is history. Price what form a rejection level over there. So the chances that when price gets to that level again, it is going to what respect those levels are very important, because it is history and we are trading historic price data. And as price has gotten there and it has been rejected, the chances that the current market price, when it get there, it's going to be very sensitive to those levels. Get rejected again and it will bounce off. So as I'm saying, the only option, okay, the high option. Oh, okay, let me put it this way. The chances that price will be coming back is very high. You get it? The chances that price might be coming back is very high. So that is what you need to understand. For price to come back and create that top wick over here, sorry, that bottom wick over here, because there was no bottom wick over here as price started, and the candle, we have like 1 minute 47 seconds more for price to what, for the candle to close. So in the next 1 minute 47 seconds, price might come back. Okay, the sell can happen, create that wick before it will continue. So the chances that the sell will play out is very high. Okay, the chances that the sell will play out is very high if this candle is able to close below, if the candle will be able to close below like this. Okay, if the candle will be able to close like this, pull back, the trend will continue. The sell is very high. So this is what H4 bottom wick. H4, let's indicate it on the chart. H4 wick. Okay, so it does not mean if you have an idea. Okay, trading is not about like, oh, maybe I have it is trading is not about, even though sometimes feelings, sometimes you trade based on your discretion. Okay, but it is always safer, it is always better to what execute, test something for some time before you start executing on that. When I started doing those things, my trading, like I'm seeing like a steep equity curve as compared to those times. You get it? Those times, that's when I don't even have a lot of information or data on something and I execute because I have feeling. But now that when I started executing on something that I've collected data or information on it for long, I think my losses has really, really reduced. Okay. It has, I'm not saying I don't take losses, but my losses has really, really what reduced. So checking my data, checking my P&L for this week. Let me see. I'm not sure I've taken a loss this week. Yeah, this week started. Yeah, I'm not sure I've taken a loss this week. 27, 28, 29, 30th. I've not taken any loss this week. You get it? No loss this week. I'm not saying like I don't take losses, but one thing I've observed is what to execute something that is having high probability. Really, sometimes I get tempted to do something outside my trading plan. Sometimes I do watch trade that I have a lot of what I do sometimes watch a trade that I know for I had a strong belief that that trade would have been going in my favor. You get it? I had a strong belief that that trade would have gone in my favor, but I just sit and watch. I don't execute. You get it? Even though I had a strong belief that that trade would have gone in my favor, but I don't execute. The reason I don't execute on those trades is because my data. Okay, this is the data I'm talking about. This is the data, and sample sizing this data, filtering out this data. I've noticed which the one that mostly gives me a lot of what wins, and the ones that gives me less losses. Okay, so I decided to be executing trades on what the ones that gives me more wins. So sometimes I get tempted to what execute, go against my trading plan because I have strong belief that this trade is going to go, but I what control myself and what I don't execute. So in trading, you have to control yourself. Okay. This trade, as I'm saying, this sell, if price close below, the chances that it will come back and create that wick is very high. But am I going to execute on that? I'm not going to be executing on that because my data does not tell me to execute such trades. Okay. I don't have a lot of information gathered. If I take something like that, I'm messing up my data. You get it? So you need to be very disciplined. Okay, you need to be very disciplined when it comes to trading. To be profitable, you need to be very, very disciplined. So we are expecting the top week to fall. We are expecting price to come back and create that what, expecting price to come back and create that bottom wick. Okay, that lower wick. Expecting expecting a lower wick. That's H4. So I'm expecting a lower wick to form at the H4 time frame. So let's see if the candle close. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see. Price has gotten to a key level too as well. Guys, if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do well subscribe to the channel too as well. Kindly subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting for, guy? What are you waiting for? If you have any question, let's drop questions so that it will be engaging. Okay, drop your questions. Anything related to trading, anything about live trading, anything, you can drop it in the chat box. Okay, so trading is a discipline game, and You see, data is money. Data is money. You see, when it comes to managers, when it comes to top organizations and those stuff, sometimes they get data. They sometimes buy data from people for them to be able to make what managerial decisions. You get it? So in trading, a lot of people, as I always say, the reason why a lot of people fail in trading is because they've made it very easy, they've made it very accessible, they've made it very simple for everyone to participate in this market. So we feel like you don't have to do a lot of work for us to be making money in this market. You need to do a lot of work to be making money from this market. Okay, when it comes to the data collection and those things, you need a lot of work. So you see the data that I've collected over here, I can sell it to you for $1 million, because I can guarantee you, if we are going to follow this data, if we're going to follow these principles, okay, I can sell it to you for what? $1 million. So those who mostly complain that why should I pay for mentorship since I can get it free on the internet and those things, you are lying to yourself. You need to pay for data, you need to pay for information. So this one like this, it took me a very long time. It took me years of what? It took my time, it took my energy, it took my money for me to be able to get this data. You get it? I just told you that organization, institutions buy data for them to use it for their managerial decisions. You get it? So this data that I've also collected, I can also sell it to you for what? $1 million, because I can guarantee you at the end of the month, if you don't make money from this information, if you like properly, or if you execute the trades according to what has been stated, I bet you there's no way you can't make money from what? This information. If you are executing it at the time I tell you, this time, this is a high probability time you have to execute. This is low probability time you have to execute. I bet you, if you execute the trades on that time, I can guarantee you that you are going to be making money at the end of the month. I'm not going to say at the every day, because you don't have to measure your performance daily basis. You need to measure your performance monthly basis. Okay, monthly. The lowest you can go is maybe weekly, but weekly is not even advisable. You need to measure your performance monthly basis. Okay, can I apply this trading strategy? Can I apply this trading strategy? Can I apply this trading strategy in all forex pairs while trading, please? Or is it specifically for gold, US? You can apply it in all forex, any instrument, any financial instrument. You can apply it over there. Okay, it is not only applied to gold, US. It's applied to any of them. You just have to understand how the language of the market. You get it. You just have to understand the language of the market. So GBP USD, I think we need to come back and check it at 1 p.m. That would be more safer. By then, price will pull back. So as I'm saying, price might come back and give that bottom wick. Okay, so it is a high what? Price might come back, expecting a lower wick at the H4 time frame. Okay, you're expecting a lower wick at the H4 time frame. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so pay for information. Okay, pay for information. Or even if you are not going to pay for information, you need to have time and what? Gather information. And trading too, you need to spend a lot of time. If you spend a lot of time, okay, so if you spend a lot of time, the chances that the odds are going to be in your favor is very, very high. If we spend a lot of chat time, the chances, and you need to get someone to guide you. That's the best way. Okay, doing it yourself, it might be hard, but you need to get someone to guide you. You need to get someone, you need to be you need to be coachable. Don't be fixated on something that is not working. You need to be coachable. Okay, so you're expecting a lower wick to form at the H4 candle. As I said, you're expecting a lower wick to form. So let's see if the lower wick is going to form. Let's see if the lower wick is going to form. So what did I tell you guys? I told you that the buy is going to be very, very difficult. Okay, price is going to, like, buyers are going to struggle to push price up. The reason is what? We had a lot of consolidations, so it's going to be very, very tough. It is very simple and easy. If you come to the market, it is very simple and easy for you to know if price is going to consolidate in any of this, what do you call it, in any direction. Okay, when you are talking about price moving up, it is very easy for you to know price might be very difficult, or it might struggle to what continue moving up. The reason is what, you have a lot of consolidation over here. Okay, so don't force yourself, since even though the trend is telling you that price might continue moving up, okay, don't force yourself to execute a buy whilst you know that you have a lot of rejection. You are always going to get stopped out most often. Okay, so it's always important to pay attention, to always take trades. So if you watch the pre, what do you call it, the post, FOMC trade that I took, if you watch your left, so this was price created a support level over here. The post FOMC trade that I took, price created a support level over here. What happened? If you look at your left, there was no support or resistances to your left. You get it. There was no support or resistances to your left. So price can what, safely move, okay, in a tie zone. And as I'm saying, if you are going to be patient, no matter what, okay, within the week, price is going to present an opportunity to you. Okay, and this time around, as my experience level has gone up, I'm seeing opportunity every session. I'm seeing opportunities every session. I'm seeing opportunities every session. I'm seeing opportunities with the same system, with the same what, strategy. Okay, just with the same strategy, taking structure, taking trades according to the structure, not going against the what. It's the same thing. I'm seeing opportunities almost every single day. Almost every single day I'm seeing opportunities. So it's all about, the reason we are not making money from trading is because we are eager to take trades, we are eager to take moves that are not in our plans. Okay, so as I said, oh, I have an idea that I'm expecting price is going to come down, then I quickly what, execute a sell over here. You get it? I might not even feel comfortable executing such trade. I might not feel comfortable executing such trade because my experience level when it comes to price moving down is very low. And one thing you need to understand is what, it is not always that price comes back and creates that bottom wick over here. Okay, it is not always that price will come back and create that bottom wick over here. That is what you need to understand. So guys, you need to give trading time. Okay, if I tell you the number of years I've spent in this game, and the number of years I still spend in this game, you might what, you might not believe. Okay, so give it time. I always say, I don't know, if you're a beginner and you are rushing to make it very quick, and you are rushing to make it very quick, I don't know. Okay, you need to have time and what, get that data. Okay, so this month alone, let me show you something about the importance of what, gathering data. You see, if you watch the time that I started what, keeping track of my trades like this, so started this year on March. Okay, those times I wasn't maybe using the Google sheet, but if you watch March, how many trades did I take on that system? I took 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And if you watch this month alone, I've taken like more than 20 trades, more than 20 trades, and I've not even updated the journal. I've taken like some trades that I've not even updated it yet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 20 so far, 20. And I'm having like 3 or 4 of them that I've not even journal yet. I'll update it this weekend. You get it? Why am I taking more trades this time around? The reason is because I've what, gathered a lot of information. I've gained a lot of information. And if you watch the previous month to on June, I also got a lot of trades too as well. So what changed? The only thing that changes was the experience level, the confidence level. So that is what journal mostly helps you to do. Mostly your journal, your trading journal mostly helps you to be confident in your system. Okay, maybe you have seen a break and retest. Someone told you about break and retest the other time. You get it? Maybe someone told you a break and retest the other time. You are not confident in break and retest unless you execute it like 13 times, maybe 50 times, 100 times. When you see it happening again, you are your confidence level is going to rise. You are going to be confident executing it. You get it? So that's the only difference between the profitable traders and what unprofitable trade. Unprofitable traders don't know what they are doing. They don't have any repeated system or repeated patterns that they focus on to what execute trades. So let me give you this example. So you see the reason why mostly those gamblers, you see mostly gamblers, most gamblers, those who win what mostly those who win what a high ticket lottery, the reason why they sometimes go back broke is because they were not having a repeated pattern that gave them that money, so they are going to lose the money again. You get it? They are going to, the chances that they are going to lose that money again is very high because they can't repeat the system again, they can't repeat the process again. You get it? So the reason why sometimes when you lose a trade, when you win a trade, you can't use you give it back to the market is because you don't have a repeated pattern. You were not aware, you are not aware of what you did that gave you that winning trade. You get it? So you and a gambler, you guys are the same. The guy who won a high ticket lottery and what later blown it on maybe unnecessary things, on flashy things that is not going to bring anything, you and that guy is this, you guys are the same, okay, because you don't have a repeated pattern, you don't have a repeated system. That is what you need to understand. So for me, most often when I lose a trade, I just tell people that what this is the market is just temporarily what holding my money and I'm going to get it back because I have a repeated system and I strongly believe in what my system. So if you are here and you are not collecting information, you are collecting what data on the activities or whatever you are doing, you are getting it wrong. Okay, you have to make sure whatever you are doing, the activities you are what embarking on in the market can be repeated. Okay, it can be repeated. So that's what you need to understand about the market. If you don't have a repeated pattern, it's going to be very hard for you to, you will make money today, you will lose everything to the market again. Okay, because you don't have a repeated pattern. So let me show you something this morning. This morning like this, you see, this is one of my patterns. Okay, price just gave, like it just gave an opportunity, this sell opportunity over here, almost 70 pips. Price gave an opportunity over here according to my system. You get it? According to my system. So every single day I'm seeing opportunities. Every single day I'm seeing opportunities. Okay. And I do, when I come to the market, it is the same thing that I do. So I have less stress. Okay. I have less stress because I'm now very confident in my system that what it works. Okay. It works at long run, it's going to work in my favor because I have what a repeated what I have data backing it. Okay, I have data backing it. You get it? So when I come to the market, I stay calm, I stay patient, and wait for that thing to happen. If I don't see it, okay, if I come to the market at a session and I don't see that particular thing, I will just call it a session, come back again the next session to see if that pattern is going to repeat itself. If it does not repeat, maybe I'll call it a day, come back again the following session. That is what you need to understand. Okay, so if time is going to be at our side, if you are reviewing this data, I can what confidently tell you that whatever I did over here, most of the trades that I took over here are repeated. So if you can watch the last YouTube this thing that we did, you guys can see. Okay, if you go back to the last, let me show you my, let me go to my channel and show you something. The last trade that we took on YouTube, my last live session that I did over here, you guys can see how I predicted the market we execute. So let me show you what I did. Let me show you what I did. If you go to my channel, you see. So this is the last session, the trade that we took on the last session. You see how I predicted the market. So you guys are seeing it over here. So you see how I predicted the market perfect. So you see what happened over here is the same thing that happened this morning, lending session. What happened over here is the same thing, is the same trade that happened. So you can go back to my last live session we had over here. I predicted this thing live to you guys. I predicted this thing live. Okay, everything. So you see over here. I predicted everything live over here whilst you guys were watching. Okay, so everything was planned. So this was a trade. Everything was what? Planned before the execution happened. You get it? Everything was planned, executed. Okay, so that is what you need to understand about trading. You need to what? You need to plan, you need to have data backing everything that you are doing. So you see, I told you that I'm collecting data on counter trends when it comes to going against the candle structure. I told you that I'm collecting data. I have to get like maybe 30 of what, 30 trades. That's what, when it happens it plays out before I will start executing on those trades. You get it? So I will not just wake up because it has happened one time and I'll start. I have to make sure I've collected like 30 what trace before I will start executing on that. Okay, before I will start executing. So let's check GBP USD and see. If gold is moving down, GBP USD too might be moving down. So you see, yeah, they have positive correlation. They are positive correlated pairs. So let's see. So you're expecting that top wick to form, expecting a lower wick at the H4 time frame. You're expecting a lower wick to form at the H4 time frame. Any question, guys? Any question for me? If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do well subscribe. If you have not liked, give a like. You guys are more than, you are more than three. Give a like to the stream. Okay, so it's all about waiting. We are waiting for the opportunity to present, for opportunity to present itself according to our data before you execute. Okay, we are waiting for an opportunity before you execute. And if you are collecting the data to please, it shouldn't solely based on what the strategy. You need to check the timing too. Okay, strategy is not all about the patterns, the candles, the charts. Sometimes the timing too is very, very important. So me, for instance, when it comes to the lending session, the time that I'm mostly confident, okay, is what 6 a.m. GMT to where 8:30 GMT. These are the times that I'm mostly confident at the lending session when an opportunity presents itself. Beyond this time, okay, beyond over here, I'm mostly not confident when an opportunity presents itself. So it's not, sometimes too, it's not only about what the strategy. Sometimes you need to check the timing too. Okay. Sometimes an opportunity, a pattern will present itself perfectly that I love to execute during that time. But because it is outside my trading times, most often I'm not confident. Okay, I'm not confident. Most often I'm not confident during that time. So sometimes as you are collecting the data too, you need to check the timing too as well. Okay, you need to check the timing too as well. So you are waiting for the top wick to form, sorry, the bottom wick to form, and if possible, you will get a chance. So we are going to stay up to, we have like maybe 1 hour 23 minutes ahead of us. Okay, 1 hour 23 minutes. Yeah, so you can apply the strategy in all pairs. You can apply it in all pairs. So please, let's take our trading serious. Trading is a business, okay? So trading is a business, and I know a lot of people can't are not withdrawing from the market. That's why you treat it randomly. But if you have tasted withdrawal before, you have a structure. Okay, so every organization, even in a country where there was no structure, in a country where there was no what a functioning institutions, what happened most of, you see, the reason why Africa, mostly our country, is messed up, because the institutions are not working. Most of the institutions are not doing their work. And you see the reason why mostly the western countries, their country is working. Okay, the systems are working, and those things are moving as planned. The reason is what, the institutions are working. Okay, the policeman is doing his job, the soldier man is doing his job, the nurse is doing his job, her job or his job. You get it? The institutions are working. When it comes to Africa, most of them, these institutions, what they are interested in is what? Is their own this thing. Their family, themselves and their family. That's what they think. What they will eat today is what they think of. They don't think of what? The future. They don't think of the future generation. They don't think about the harm that they are going to cause if they take this bribe, the harm that they are going to cause if they do favoritism. You get it? I'm not saying those places it is not there. It might be there, but I think majority of the times they're having working institutions. Okay, they're having working institutions. So the reason why Africa is messed up, a lot of things are not going as planned, and those things is because of these institutions are not working. Okay, these people are not those in charge of the various institutions are not doing their work. That's why we are suffering. Okay, not we are suffering, like that's why things are not working out. You get it? Those in charge of maybe roads, maybe the road mister is supposed to what, ensure that the street lights are working, and those, they are not ensuring those things. But they are taking road safety, and they are taking road body and those things, but they are not ensuring all these things are what, working. You get it? And what is going to happen? It's going to cause accident. In the night, if the street lights are not working, it might cause accident. You get it? So in trading too, if you don't have structure, if you don't have plan, when you come to the market, the exact thing you look for, you are every single day looking for different things. Today you are plotting out trend lines, tomorrow you are plotting out, you came and watched my stream, you came to see what, I've drawn some lines. Tomorrow you start applying the lines. You get it? The following day, maybe you watch someone using some fair value and those stuffs, you decided to also apply. You don't have structure. Okay, you are randomly doing things. The day you fail, you apply this one. So you don't have a routine. If you don't have a routine, this thing mostly happens to me. If I wake up and I don't know what to do in the day, I will end up being depressed sometimes because my day is not structured. Imagine maybe I wake up and I'm having structure. Okay, when I wake up early morning, I have to maybe do some push-ups, I have to hydrate, I have to maybe read a book. You get it? If your day is structured, you yourself, you will feel like fulfilled. You will notice that you are fulfilled today because you have followed your plan. You get it? It's the same thing when it comes to trading. So if you don't have a structure, if you don't have a plan, when you come to the market, this and this are the things that you look for before you execute a trade. What is going to happen is what? You are easily going to be what? Swayed by the market. I was talking about this thing in my recent short that I did. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a system, you can easily be swayed by the market. You are going to be taking trades that you were not willing, you didn't even plan executing that trade. Okay, so we need to have you need to have structure. Okay, we need to have structure, and any refinement that you do in our system, we need to make sure you've collected a lot of data. Okay, enough data to back it. You get it? You've collected enough data to back what we want to do before we start executing on that. So you should stop doing random things. Don't You need to just sit down. If it's a mentor you will get, if it's someone that you are going to what, hire, okay. If it's someone you are going to hire for the person to teach you his system, you better do that than stopping hopping from one strategy, one YouTube streamer, from one TikTok streamer to another. You don't have any random plan. Okay, I know with time, but a moving man will one day meet his what? One day meet his luck. Yeah, maybe if you keep on hopping from one system to another, you one day meet your luck. Yeah, so if GBP USD in the next 17 minutes will be able to close above, it's going to be a nice buy over here. Okay, it might be a nice buy. So let's wait for the H1 to close. Okay, let's wait for H1 to close. So we have an upcoming news. Okay, so the news will be released. So I think at 1 p.m. it's going to be more safer for GBP USD to keep on moving up. Okay, so let's wait for 1 p.m. and see. Let's wait for the candle to close above this one. Okay, a moment, please. Yeah, so you see, the reason why price is struggling to move up is because of the zones. Okay, because of the zones. That's why price is currently struggling to move up because of the zones. Okay, so don't attempt a buy over here. You might be stopped out multiple times. So it is safe you wait for price to be just move out from the zone. Okay, just move out from the zone before you execute a trade. For me, I would love for price to give that bottom wick. If it is going to give that bottom wick, it might be more safer. It might be more safer. So now you don't know. Price is the high time frame is bullish though. Okay, but it has gotten to the target over here. We have daily target over here. So as I'm saying, the chances are price will, if this candle close below, okay, this is what might happen over here. If this candle will be able to close below over here, if this candle will be able to close below over here, this is a counter trend, okay, a counter trend as assumption. You get a pullback, price cannot come back and create that wick. But for me, I'm looking for a buy though, but I don't have where to stand to take the buy. Okay, but if this one is going to happen, I think it will help me to be able to get a support to take the continuation. So let's see. We have 14 minutes ahead of us. So let's wait for New York open and see what might happen. Yeah, so let's anticipate. Let's wait and see. How many people enjoy trading? I really love this game. I really love to wake up early morning to analyze. It's something I love doing it. Even if I'm not going to get paid, I love doing it. Trading is something I don't even come to the market to expect the market to give me something. I always come to the market. I always come to the market. I always come to the market to what? To just participate. Okay, just to participate, not the money, but I love being involved. You get to analyzing, watching what the market is doing and those stuffs. And I've done it for a very long time. Okay, I've done it for a very, very long time. At certain points, I remember at the beginning of my journey, at certain points, like there was no clarity. I used to get confused, I would lose money and those stuffs. I was like, I never thought like I would get clarity like this. I never thought I would get clarity in trading like this. But one thing I told myself is to be consistent, okay, and master this skill. So I wasn't bothered about even though I was concerned about my failures and those things, but it was something I told myself, no matter what, I will either what die trying to do this thing, or what I'll be good doing this thing. I'll be good as I'm what I'll be good at it. You get it? I'll be good at it. So it wasn't something I even plan of stopping, because I fell in love analyzing, because trading is always going to challenge you. It's always, no matter the number of years you've spent in the game, you are always going to feel challenge, even if not technical wise. Emotions is going to set in sometimes. So sometimes you feel like that, like, this market is really really messing up your psychology, your emotions and those things. So it's fun participating in this market. It doesn't look boring. Trading does not, it does not, single day trading is going to look boring. Okay, it's always like going to challenge you. It's always going to make your mind active, no matter the number of years. You see some work, when you do, you become bored about it, because you're always doing one same boring things. But trading never gets boring. Your mind is always active. Your mind is always active, waiting, doing this. So it's always engaging. Okay, trading is a game where it always gets engaging to participate. Okay, you see, I have an experience on, okay, price might be coming down. Sometimes as you are waiting, you'll be tempted to take something that wasn't in your plan, and always there's a new discovery. The market you are seeing like this, it's a big ocean with a lot of discovery. Okay, with a lot of discovery, you every day discover something new. You every day discover something new. So it's a big ocean with a lot of discovery. A lot of discovery. Okay, so now I'm being tempted to look for this sell. If candle close over here, I'm being tempted to look for a sell. But something, my system or what discipline is telling me that what, this is not part of your plan. Calm down before you execute. According to your data, wait for price to come down before you execute. So it's always challenge. There was something you are always fighting for, or there was something that you're always fighting with when it comes to trading. You are always fighting with something. Okay, you are fighting with emotions, you are fighting with a lot of battles that you always fight with. So it never gets boring. That's one thing about trading. It never gets boring. Okay, it is not like a game where you know that if you do this is going to be the end result. You get it. It is not like if you do this, there are some jobs, or some jobs. You know that at the end of the day, this is what is going to be the end result. Some of the works that you do, you know that at the end of the day, is going to be the end result. But in trading, it's always challenge. It always challenges you. So it's an interesting game to participate in. Okay, it challenges your emotions, your discipline, how to be disciplined, and those things. So it's fun to participate in it. Yeah, so we are waiting. We are anticipating this top bottom wick to form. Price has gotten to this key level over here. So if price close below, the chances that price will come down is very very high, very high, because we have an H4 rejection over here, daily rejection over here. The chances that price will come down before giving that support to move up is very high. To give that top wick is very high. So let's see. Let go. Let's go. So we have 8 minutes for what? 1 p.m. 8 minutes for 1 p.m. GMT. New York Open. You might be seeing after if this candle will be able to close. Sometimes what can happen is what it might end up just moving without waiting for the candle to close. That is what might happen. Yeah, so you're expecting this lower wick to form. So someone might be saying, why, if you have strong belief that price is going to move down, why don't you execute? So it all boils down to the plan. It is not part of the plan. Okay. You have knowledge about it, does not mean you have to execute. It is not part of the plan. It is not part of the plan. It is not part of the plan. So after the pullback over here, okay, after the pullback over here, the price has successful close below. That is when what we start looking for what a support to form, a support to form. Then we look for buy. Yeah. So the more you stay in the market, the more you get, more you start getting clarity. Okay. The more you stay in the market, watching, observing that instrument. So that's why sometimes it is safer to, if you are going to master one's instrument, I think it's going to help. That is what I see. Okay, if you are going to master one instrument before you even, after getting clarity on your system, before you plan your other other pairs too, I think it will help. I think it will help. So yeah, so let's wait for 1 p.m. and see what's going to happen. Yeah, so sometimes you feel tempted. So you see, when we came to the stream, you were talking about this sell, but you need to take quality ones. Okay, the opportunities are many in the market, but you need to filter out the quality ones. Filter out which ones are going to help you, which ones are having higher chances of working out. So let's check out the other ones that we spoke about. USD CHF. Yeah, so exactly what I spoke about, price pulling back, creating that support. So now the pullback is happening. Let's check out USD card. So that one to the pullback, yes, prices. Okay. Currencies, the zones are very small. GBP USD, so I'm sure it just retreats. Yeah, so exactly what I spoke about. It just bounce off from the rejection levels. So it's trying to create that bottom wick. So yeah, so gold is trying to create that bottom wick, waiting, expecting a bottom. So after it has made the lower wick, okay, after price has made the lower wick, we can anticipate the continuation of the move, okay, before this candle close. So our buy still remains bullish until what this candle close bearish before maybe we can what change our bias. Our buy still remains bullish. Our buy still remain bullish. Any question? If you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do well subscribe to the channel too. Yeah, so it's just ranging. After the massive move this morning, price is just ranging. So let's wait and see by we have like okay, let's wait for the next hour to see what's going to happen. If I don't see clarity, I'll just call it a session. I'll call it a day. Okay, I'll call it a day. I'll call it a day over here. So let's see if you can get a support for a price might. So this is what I'm expecting on gold. If it will be able to trend down, okay, if it will be able to maybe trend down to this point, because looking for the buy, a lot of rejections to our left, it's going to be very hard to take a trade to looking for a buy trade. So I would rather prefer if price will be able to what maybe form a support over here. If price will be able to form a support over here, I would love that's where I would love taking a buy. Okay, that's where I would love. So after it has made a bottom wick, I will expect what a wick fill. Okay, after this one has made a bottom wick, I'll be expecting a wick fill. Okay, then the trend will continue. So sometimes patience is golden. You need to wait patiently. So the most difficult part is not learning the strategy. The most difficult part is waiting for your setup what to align, because within the space of waiting for your setup to align, you are going to be tempted by a lot of what you are going to be tempted by a lot of what moves in the market. So the strategy is not the problem. Learning the strategy is not the problem, but the most often the problem is what waiting for yours. That is the problem. Okay, because sometimes you are going to be tempted. A lot of opportunities are going to what be you come across a lot of what opportunities that you feel like it's a good opportunity, but as to okay, so the top weight that you spoke about is just forming. Price is trying to form. Okay, it's trying to come back and form that wick. Things is it's make it being interesting over here. If this one will come back and create that wick, that will be fine. Okay, and the next one after the closure of this one, you take a buy. So it should come back and create that wick. 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 Yeah, so we are still anticipating price will come back and create that wick. So we have like 30 minutes ahead of us or 45 minutes ahead of us. So let's wait in the next 45 minutes or 30 minutes to see, because we are in volume time. Okay, we are in time of what where price move very fast, price creates opportunities and those stuffs. So from now to what? From we are currently 1 p.m. GMT now. Currently 1 p.m. GMT. Okay, from 1 p.m. GMT to let's say 1:45 p.m. 1:45 p.m. GMT. So these are the times I'm waiting for. So from now to that time, if you don't get opportunity, then you call it a session. Okay, so sometimes you come to the market, opportunity will present itself. Sometimes too, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough. Okay. Yeah, so those who are asking of my journal, you just, if you know how to use Excel, okay, if you know how to use Excel, you can use Excel or maybe Google Sheets, any of them. Or if you want to get a third party platforms too, you can just search for them. Okay, you can search for third party platform. But journaling is very important. You need to journal. Okay, you need to journal. Journaling is very important. Yeah, so my trading started, I started seeing good results when I started implementing that. When I started implementing that, everything started changing for good. My trading started changing for good. So that is what you need to. So let's treat trading as a business. If you are really going to, you see how you mostly cherish if you buy new thing, the way we treat it very good and those stuffs. If you are going to treat trading like that, I bet you it's going to pay you. Okay, so just tell yourself that this is going to be another source of income. I'm not saying it should be your sole source of income. Okay, but this is going to be another source of income, and this is even going to be the income that generates you what, bigger money. You get it? That brings in bigger returns. So you are going to treat it very well. You are going to put systems in place. You are going to put structures in place. Okay, and give yourself time to collect that data, to collect that information, and what, after collecting those information, filter out which one mostly gives you high win rates, or which one mostly brings what, a winning trade, and which one also brings what, mostly brings losses. If you keep on doing that, if you keep on doing that, giving yourself time, keep on doing that, keep on doing that, I bet you with time you are going to know that what, these are the patterns that mostly what guarantee you or mostly brings in more win rates as compared to the others. They get it. You are going to find out that okay, these are the patterns that when most often I trade them, it mostly brings what, it mostly brings success, it mostly brings winning trades. You keep on what, channeling your energy to those systems. You keep on channeling your what, your energy to those systems. Okay, and be disciplined to execute those patterns alone. So sometimes some people ask me, okay, so how can I know that's what, how can I even know this is a strategy I have to trade if we are not having. So first of all, what you can do, one thing you can do is first get a mentor and learn from that person's system. But if you want to do everything by yourself, which is going to take you a very long time, what you can do doing it yourself is what, you first of all, anytime you take a trade, but you observe it first. Okay, you observe the market for some time, you observe price action. Okay, if you observe price action, if you observe it for a very long time, you get to every day. That means what, you are watching it every time. Okay, London session you are going to be present, New York session you are going to be present, Asian session you are going to be present. You watch the market. So you start to what, you start to notice that what, this particular pattern is what mostly happens. When it happens, this is what happens. When it happens, the end result is going to be here. That when this one happens, the end result is going to be here. You start to know, or you start to notice what, the repeated patterns. Okay, so if you start seeing those things, what you are going to be doing is what, you start keeping records of them, you start journaling them. Okay, and start what, putting them in real life markets to execute, bet your money on it and see how it's going to be at the end of the month, or maybe at the end of maybe uh, some period of time. You get it? But the best way I will recommend you see how I've been able to collect data. I'm not saying this data that I've collected, I'll also learn from someone. You get it? I'm not saying all these things were coming from. It was someone I also learned from. Okay, okay. And as I learned from it, I will also what I tweak it to what to make it my own style. You get it? So I collected piece and piece from these places, put them together to make it my own. You get it? So it is not something like I just discovered. It is something I also learned from someone. Okay, and what I made it my own. So that's what you have to do. After getting mentorship, you need to have time to study the chart. You need to have dedicated time to also watch the chart to make the system that you've learned to make it a better one that is going to suit or what fit your strategy or fit your system. You get it? That's what you need to understand. Yes, all right. So what are you expecting? So let's check out GBP USD and see what happened since it's giving a nice price action over there. Okay, so what you're expecting? I thought maybe the H1 time frame was able to break above, but it's still in the consolidating area. So it's still in consolidation. Yeah, so I think majority of the move happened during the lending session. So the New York has turned out to be what ranging. Yeah. So I was saying something before I even left. So give a like to the stream. If you have not given a like, subscribe to the channel too as well. Subscribe to the channel too as well. So you're expecting a top wick to form or bottom lower wick to form over here, but it seems like price is currently struggling to make that bottom wick. But you see, we are not moved. We don't lose anything if you are waiting. You get it? You don't lose anything if you are waiting. You only lose money when you execute something that does not fit your trading system or trading plan. But if you are waiting, you don't lose anything. You get it? Yeah, you don't lose anything. So I'm just waiting. Waiting does not cost any money. It just costs your time. So we just have to wait. I would love this one to even come down. 115, this one come down. Then 130, it's close bullish. Then we take a buy. But price action is not looking good. Price action is currently not looking good. So 150, 130, we start seeing some big moves. We start seeing some big moves. So from the time we showed up on the chart, price has been consolidating. We've not been getting any clear direction of the market. Price has just been consolidating, consolidating. It has not been given any clear direction. So let's see. So this is what I was expecting. I was expecting this one to just create that bottom wick, then price will continue moving up. That was what I was expecting to fall. That was what I was expecting it to fall. Yeah. Any question? Any question for me? Any question? Any question? Yeah, so you see, it is easy for you to predict if price is going to trend, if price is going to consolidate. So if you watch, if you are anticipating price to keep on moving up, if you watch the top and you notice you have a lot of consolidations, okay, a lot of rejection levels, rejection levels, rejection levels. That is what you need to understand. So sometimes you come to the market and things are just going to be clear, simple, easy. Price is just going to present opportunity. You don't have to even think twice and it just execute. Sometimes too, the market will just keep you waiting, watching, waiting for it to what presents or for an opportunity to be presented to you. So that is what you need to understand about the market. Okay, that is what you need to understand about the market. So it is not a smooth ride like that. So you have rejection level over here at the H1 time frame. At the H1 time frame. So let's do a fresh analysis again for those who just joined. Let's do a fresh analysis on what you're expecting on gold USD. So those who join, so looking at the fundamentals, today is Thursday. Have you made the money this week? Or it's a long story? Have you made money this week or it's a long story? At least this week, it's not bad though. The lighting and those things wasn't giving me a smooth this thing to be taking trace, but not bad. At least we can make some withdrawal. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so we don't have any rejection levels. Okay, so one thing that you will do is what? Messing up, making money from mandate, struggling to hold the money or struggling to like, as in, be able to retain, be able to manage the money. You see, if you make money early in the week, and what being able to manage it to the end of the week, it's not easy. It is like money management. Someone can get money, big money, and the person will blow it. So being able to make money at the beginning of the week and being able to just handle it, maintaining it, retaining it for Friday and making withdrawal, it's not easy. Guys, it's not easy. It takes a lot of discipline because you are going to be tempted to be taking trades that are outside your trading plan, but if you'll be able to be disciplined and what take quality trades, I think you are going to what you will be able to make consistent withdrawals. So on Thursday, okay, on Thursday, today is Thursday, you don't have, yeah, I think you don't have high impact news. Yeah, so let's check out the daily time frame. So at the daily time frame, change it to line chart. We have rejection level over here at the daily time frame. We have rejection level over here at the daily time frame. And if price decide to come down, okay, if price decide to come down, we're expecting price to come to this level. If price to come to this level, and at the H1 time frame, at the H1 time frame, we have this rejection level over here. At the H4 time frame, rather, at the H4 time frame, we have this rejection level over here. We have this rejection level over. If price is going to move up, at first you were expecting that bottom wick to form or the lower wick to form, but it seems like, or it looks like price is currently struggling to what give that wick. So these are the various rejection levels. Okay, so that's why I was saying it is very tough for price to keep on moving because the zones are not big. Okay, the high time frame zones are not big. Moving to the H1 time frame, at the H1 time frame, we have another rejection level over here, another rejection level over here for price to what keep on moving for price to keep on moving up. Okay, so looking at the H4 time frame, the direction. So this is where we mostly determine the direction of the market. Looking at the H4 time frame, the direction of the market is what price is an uptrend. Okay, so made a point moving. You get it, for price to keep on moving up. So looking at the H1, looking at the M30 time frame, so price is bullish at the higher time frame. So as I was saying, I wasn't interested. I was just anticipating the sell to happen because of the lower wick at the H4 time frame. But I was what? I was rather anticipating a buy. Okay, but for the buy, the zones are not that big, so it's going to be very tough for us to get a buy. So let's see 130. What is going to, how this candle is going to close. If this candle will be able to close above this one, maybe you can find a way to take a buy because you'll be in volume time 54 pips. The stop loss will be big though. HM15 too is not looking good. But you, let's see. Let's see in the next 11 minutes. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen in the next 11 minutes. So you see how for do you know that you showing up on the chat, watching me live, and those things are the best way to learn trading? That's the best way to learn trading. Okay. The best way to learn trading is what? Watching me doing it live every day. That is the best way to learn trading. It is not about what? It is not one day thing. Trading is not one day thing. Trading is not like a one time thing that maybe someone will show you and you will just be good at it. It is a daily practicing. Okay. It is a daily practice. That is what is going to make you a good trader. Okay. It is your daily habit, it is your daily action. To be good at trading, your daily actions are the things that are going to make you a good trader. Your daily actions are the things that are going to like make you a good trader. So example, like every day you wake up, you watch me, every day you wake up, you watch me, and what you practice too as well. You practice, you watch me, and giving yourself like giving it time, giving yourself like 6 months time, you will start to understand most, even if you don't understand everything, because this thing has taken me like 8 years to be able to learn this. Okay, so I'm not expecting you to just understand it just in a few moments. Let someone is asking an interesting question. So let's ask questions. Okay, let's ask questions. Yeah, so gold is in a console, and this candle. So no, you shouldn't try buy. You shouldn't. You should wait for eight. Sorry, you should wait for the 30 minutes to close. Currently, it's in console. It's taking a buy over here. Price is in consolidating phase. Okay, so taking a buy is kind of not safe for now. Okay, so let's wait. If this candle will be able to even close just around this area, that would be better. So someone is asking an interesting question. That's what I love. For we students, combining trading and academics is something very difficult. So I've been a student before. I started trading when I was a student. I've been a student before. So this is how. So I've been a student before. So this is how you can combine trading with academics. Okay, you need to know which one is going to after school, which one is going to pay you, and give it much energy. You get it? You need to know which one is going to pay you more, and what you channel your energy to that side. I'm not saying you are not going to be performing or you are not going to be participating in your academic work. Okay, please a moment. Yeah. So as I'm saying, I've been a student before, so you have to know. So for those times, I knew that when I complete school, maybe job searching for job is going to be very hard. So I was planning for what I was planning for after school. Okay, whilst people were thinking about school, what they will be, where the job they will be searching, and for those things. For me, I was searching. I was just planning for how I will be able to do things for myself. So as I was concentrating on academic work, I was still working on what after school life too as well, the things I'll be doing and those things. So I was planning for my future too as well when I was in school. So you can combine everything together. You can combine everything, and you have to make sure, even if you are at school, you have to make sure every single day you watch the chat, or you educate yourself on the chat. Okay, so this is what I used to do. I used to watch someone uh, live session. So what I would do is, what after school, after the academic works in the evening, I will make sure what I'll go and download the videos, use the school Wi-Fi, download the person's what video, and what I will watch. It's just going to be taking 2 hours of my time. And I know when you close from school, you are either going to boys chat. If you're a lady, girls chat. Sometimes can take you 2 hours. So you need to make sure you know where you what channel your energy or your effort in your. You don't have to be having free time and those things. You don't have to be chatting unnecessary and those stuff. You need to know that you're on a mission. You will have something that you are working on. Okay, so you are not going to be wasting time. You get me? You are not going to be wasting time. So after school, after you download, maybe if you are following me, if someone that you are following, learning from, after school you can download some of my videos and watch them. Okay, you can just tell yourself 2 hours after lectures, or I don't know whether you are at the university or you are, I don't know, there's the cycle you are, but maybe after lectures you watch some of the video. 2 hours of your time, taking 2 hours of your academics is not a problem. It's just an excuse. Okay, it's just an excuse you are giving yourself. You can still make it whilst you are in school. I was learning trading. Every free time I make sure what I'm learning, I'm being productive. I wasn't wasting time. Okay, because you tell me you are in school, but you have time that you chat with friends. You have time you make calls, unnecessary calls. You have time you go to your friend's hostel, just be talking about unnecessary stuffs. You get it? So all those things you need to cancel them and what now channel your energy to something productive, something that is going to what better your future, not wasting time. If you are starting out, you have a long way to go. It's not like easy as you people see it on the internet. Trading is not easy, oh, guys. You guys thought it's easy to make money from trading, eh? The work of the amount of work needed to be able to be good at this thing, that's why a lot of people give up, because they were expecting instant results. If I tell you the amount of effort and energy I've given to this thing to for now constantly withdrawing money from the market, now it seems easy, but you don't know the number of work, effort, sleepless nights I've put into this thing, watching the chart every single day, every single session. Those times I used to even watch the whole session, trading Asian session, making sure I'm present, watching the chart, being active. Hey guys, it's not fun, guys. It's not fun. So that is why the results, when it comes to the reward in trading, is very big. I'm a beginner and I learned you need to know the different size of candles, which candle represents what and at what time to take trade. Erica, Erica Tahiros. What name is that? I'm a beginner and I learned you need to know the different types of candles. It is not candles that you need to know. You need to know a lot about trading. Okay, you don't have to know only candles. Candle is part of trading. Candle is part of technical analysis, but it is not only candles. We have something called confluence. You need a lot of things, bring them together to be able to make an informed decision. So you don't need only candles to be able to predict the market. Okay, you need a lot of stuff. You need a lot of information. We have it. We call it confluence. You need candles. You need to understand the formation of candles. You need to understand, according to my system, you need to understand the various what the demand and supply levels. That's the support and resistance levels. So it's 130. It's 130. Can you get price? The zone is very small. If price flip bullish, should I try something risky over here? If price flip bullish, we can get a continuation to this point, but the stop loss is crazy. I don't want to. It's 130. If price flip bullish over here, you can get price continue to this side, but the stop loss will be crazy. Yeah, the stop loss, the zone is very small to us. Well, the zone is very small to us. Well, and this is not my favorite entry candle. Okay, price might continue moving up, but the so you see, it's not always that the top wick is going to fall. So you see, this time around, it looks like you have 28 minutes. So the chances that the top wick is not going to form is very high. You get it? The chances that the top wick is not going to form is very high. So it is not always that the top wick gets formed. You get it? It is not always that the top wick gets filled. Yeah, so Erica, it is not only about candles. Okay, you need a lot of confluence. You have something called confluence, bringing a lot of gathering a lot of technical tools. Okay, so you have something called confluence, gathering a lot of technical tools to use it for your decision making. So you need candles, understanding candles. Okay, you need to understand candles. You need to understand candles. You need to understand Demand. So the market is moved based on demand and supply. So you need to understand demand. Okay. You need to understand demand and supply. You need to understand demand and supply. You need to understand the time of the day too as well. The volume time. You have something called trading sessions. Okay. So trading session is the same as the volume, the time that what volume comes into the market. You get it? You need to understand a lot of information. So it's not only one side. Okay, it's not only one side. Not only one side. Okay, so how to combine multiple time frames. Okay, how to combine multiple time frames to make decision. You need to understand this thing too as well. Okay, you need to how to combine multiple time frames. So you are seeing a lot of time frames, like we mostly talk about the weekly time frame, we mostly talk about the daily time frame, we mostly talk about the H4 time frame. So how to combine this multiple time frame to also know that this is where I have to buy, this is where I have to sell. You get it? You need to understand that one too as well. So a lot of things goes into this thing. You get it? A lot of things goes into this thing to be able to make decision. Okay, okay. You need to understand that. So these are important topics you need to understand. So it's not only about, oh, okay, I've understood that candles, and it's not about understanding the names of the candles and those stuffs. So this candle that has formed over here, what's the psychology behind the formation of the candle? So we're having strong bullish pressure in the market at this point. The strong bullish pressure in the market at this point, but the zone is not that big. Okay, the zone is not that big over here. Will there be boot camp today? Yeah, there will be a class today if only the light is on. So at the moment the light is on, that's why I've decided to show up today. So let's hope they are not going to. I thought maybe just one day something. I never knew it's going to continue today. So let's hope this evening the light will be on. So if the light is on, you are showing up. Okay, you are going to show up. So trading, for as I always say, trading is not one day or one moment something. Okay, constant practicing is what is going to make you a better trader. Constant practicing, and even after figuring out what works, okay, knowing that what this works, you need to also what be confident. You need to do it for a very long time for you to be able to be confident in yourself. So I remember the first time when I was learning how to ride a motorcycle, I was very scared. Okay, I was very scared when I tried learning how to ride motorcycle. I was very scared to even use it on highways and those stuffs. But when I'm riding it this time, I am not even scared. Why? Because I've gained a lot of experience. I've gained a lot of experience on how to operate the motorcycle. You get it? So it's a constant practicing. Okay, it's a constant practicing. That's what is going to make you a better trader. But if you are trying to cut corners, okay, I sometimes get these questions, or maybe I sometimes get these feedbacks, like some people will give themselves break. No matter the losses you're experiencing in the market, I will not recommend anyone to be taking break from trading. Okay, I will not be recommending anyone to be taking break from trading. If you are taking break from trading, you are just delaying what? Because every day when you show up on the chart, there was something new you gain. So you see, price might continue moving up, but sometimes volume will just fail you. So I don't want to just fully be aggressive that price is going to go and volume, because we have a lot of rejection levels over here. But price might keep on moving up. Price might keep on moving up, but the zone is not clean. Yeah, it's not clean at all. But it can just break. We have another level over here. Yeah, exactly. Wow, crazy, crazy times. 130 volume time. Yeah, so I didn't get entry for what I want to take. So a lot of rejections left. Wow. So 130 just brought in massive moves in the market. So looking at the left, it wasn't looking good. Let me check out GBP USD. Yeah, so it all these ones are part of the temptation I was talking about. So you see, sometimes this one, what just happened over here, you might feel like it's always going to be like that. Okay. So sometimes it will just fail you by thinking it's going to continue moving up. Sometimes it will just fail you because the rejections are a lot. Okay, the rejection. You need I would prefer taking trades in the clean zones rather than what rejection, rejection, rejection. It is not safe for me. Okay, it is not safe. So I mostly don't love it that way. So if it moves 1,000 pips, it is not according to my plan. So I don't care. I don't care because I understand that I won't get not every move that I will get. Okay, I understand. I want to execute. So if you watch this morning trade like this, if you watch this one, you see there was a clean zone over here. Okay, so when you are trading, when you are entering trade like that, you are of peace with yourself. Okay, when you get trades like that, you are of peace. But trades that rejection, rejection, you don't know your fate if price is going to keep on moving or it's just going to get rejected. You don't know your fate. You get it. So you need to understand that all these ones are part of the temptations. So before you get to a profitable, before you be able to within the week, okay, before you get to a profitable, this Monday, you start Monday, before you get to a profitable week to this point, there are a lot of temptations, a lot of what trades that are not being moved, but what not being moved by the what is just going to come about. You are going to be profitable. Okay, so all these things are temptations, all these moves are temptation. You know that's what there was a perfect rejection which you are not confident, you are not certain about, but because you think, oh, price is an uptrend, because the trend is total. As we came to the chart, I told you that price might pull back, give this bottom week, but I'm not interested in the sell. I'm interested in solely the buy because what we are having a lot of what do you call it? Market structure is an uptrend. Previous candle structure is an uptrend. So everything is looking bullish. So I'm not looking for it. So I told you about it, you get it. But that does not mean since there was no entry, I have to force myself and execute the buy. It's not going to serve me well at long run because we are having H4 rejection over here. A lot of rejections are rejection, and there's no guarantee that what price might keep on moving up. You get it. So even though I have an idea on where price is going to go, but you see, there was this but, but. Okay, so the but are the rejection levels I'm seeing over here. Okay, so before you get to the profitable week, at the end of the week, you know you can confidently say that I've made money, I can make withdrawal. Is what you need to make sure what you are being disciplined, you're avoiding a lot of trades, okay, profit. That does doesn't mean I have to also take it. Okay, according to my experience level, this does not look good for me. According to my experience level, we have a lot of rejections. So the chances that price can get rejected is very high. So I don't have to execute that trade. Okay. If you had a clean zone, okay, we don't have any rejection, you had a clean zone, I would have executed such trade. But this trade is not good for me. Okay. It's not a good trade for me to execute on. So you need to be very tough. Trading, you need to have a tough mindset to avoid some what to avoid some trades. Okay, to avoid some trades, you need to be very, very tough because you are in what this does H4 rejection over here. You see how price is currently struggling to what break this level. It is the same thing that price could have also struggled to what break this level. Okay, the way price is currently struggling to break or break above this one, it is the same thing it could have also struggled to break over here. Okay, so those levels are not there for fun. Okay, they are not there for fun. So you need to understand that. Okay, I want to take trade like badly. I want to be involved more than you. Okay, but I need to make sure is it quality. Okay, is it according to my system? Is it according to my strategy? So I just told you that if price maybe we had a small wick over here, body wick over here, I would have tempted to take a buy, but the top wick over here, the wick fell and it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good. And the stop loss, I consider the stop loss 160 pips. So like yeah. So I think so. New York to no trade for me at the New York session. Maybe later in the session, price will pull back. As I'm saying, if you wait, price will definitely give you something you want to see. Okay, if you wait, the waiting part is the problem. Yeah, definitely will follow you to the promised land. Yeah, keep on following, Erica. Keep on following. I'll lead you safely to the promised land. But make sure you don't crash before me. Make sure you don't crash before me because it demands a lot of discipline. Okay, it demands a lot of discipline for you not to crash. Yeah, so let's wait for the next 15. I might be calling it a session now. I might be calling it this thing now. Yeah, if you have any question, kindly drop it. Kindly drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. So you see what I just told you about price has been rejected. Okay, price has been rejected over there. So that is what you need to understand. You don't take trades within these zones. It is not safe. Okay, taking trades within these zones and those things are not safe. Wait for better zones. So zones like if you watch this morning buy like this, you see clean price moved safely. If you look at your left, you don't have any support or resistance. Price moves smoothly to the rejection level. You get it. There was no support. One looks very, very clean. If you look at this one too, if you look at this one too also looks clean. Okay, to this point. So those are the trades that I mostly look forward for. Okay, those are the trades that I mostly look forward for. Take something that is good according to your plan. According to your plan. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, so if price decide to close bullish, the next plan is to wait for a pullback, like what happened over after price moved, waited for a pullback. So the next plan of action is to wait for a pullback, okay, then the continuation of the trend. Those are the things I'll be looking forward for. Because what happened over here does not fit my plan. Okay. Because 130, it's not always guaranteed that it's going to move up. It is not always guaranteed that it's going to move up. Okay, so if not the zone and you had a clean zone to our left, this would have been a look, a buy, but price closed on a resistance level which wasn't safe to take a buy. Which wasn't safe to take a buy because of the rejections. Mm, mm. Yeah, so it's not always that when you come to the market, you just see opportunity, you take it. Sometimes you just have to be cool, patient, and wait. Okay, you just have to be cool, patient, and wait for the right setup to happen before you execute. Mm. Yeah, so now the next plan of action is to wait for a pullback. Definitely, the H4 is going to close bullish. Definitely, the H4 is going to close bullish. So the next plan of action is to wait for price to pull back. Okay, then you take the continuation of the trend. Okay, that will be the next plan of action. So let me check out GBP USD. As you were planning for the buy bar, I'm not sure it would have given an entry. Wow, crazy. So no entry on GBP USD, just straight. There was no trade. Wait for price to break and close below. Sorry, above rather. I said below. It was supposed to be above. It was supposed to be above, but there was no entry. Okay, there was no entry. Yeah, there was no entry. Yeah, there was no entry. Yeah, so at this point, price has been extended. So the best plan of action is to wait for a pullback. Okay, if it's going to keep on moving up, is to wait for a pullback. Then what? We look for a continuation of the trend. You get it. You look for the continuation of the trend. Yeah, this one got extended. So as I was saying, initially I told you that we are waiting. So the entry sometimes it is there. So those times I used to get frustrated when moves like this happen and I don't get involved. But now I don't even care. Initially I was thinking price is going to create that bottom bottom wick, okay, give us a support, then we enter the trade. Okay, this is what I was expecting it to happen. So those who joined the stream earlier, I told you guys that I would love price to pull back, give us that support by creating that bottom wick. Then what? We look for a buy. But what happened? It just price just did its own thing. But you need to understand that you can't catch every single move in the market, and you need to always position yourself to execute what you like what is in your plan. Okay, this is what I was expecting initially, but price decided to just come back to this zone, okay, which was not safe to execute. So this is not going to be the last, this is not going to be the only opportunity that's going to happen in the market. Opportunities are always what, flying left, right, center. So that was my plan, but everything just got scattered, just moved, got scattered. Okay, everything just scattered. Wow, this has really moved. 200 pips. 200 pips. Yeah, guys, I think I will call it a session over here. So I can't wait for price to pull back. Okay, I have to just move. So the next plan of action is to wait for price to pull back. Okay, so now if this candle close, these levels are still valid. So the zones are still valid over here. This one, because it's now going to make a pullback before it will continue, if it's going to continue moving up before you get it. So maybe these levels are the ones that are going to be invalid. Yeah, those times I used to get frustrated when a move like this happen. I show up and I see a big move like this, I don't get myself involved. But now I'm not bothered about those moves. You get it? I'm not bothered. Yeah, guys, I think I'll call it a session over here. Okay, I'll call it a session over here. So, did you guys enjoy the session? Should you keep on? Should I continue doing more of these ones? Should I continue doing more of these ones? The New York session. Mostly the lending session for me. The lending session is mostly smooth. Comparing it to the New York is mostly like the most mostly does not give confirmations. Like it's most fast as compared to the lending session. Guys, I'll call it a session over here. So maybe see you next week. Tomorrow, I'm not sure I'll come around. So see you next week. So those in the mentor bootcamp, we are going to be meeting this evening. Let's hope everything is going to work on in our favor. So we are going to be meeting this evening. Bye.